Welcome everybody to another edition of Blacks in Motion right here at Black Video News at 8. And as always, it's your sports guy Cliff right here giving you the hottest news in sports out there right now. And on this week's segment, we're going to be talking a little football. Are you ready for some football? Or should I say playoff football in the NFL? I'm also going to be talking a little top-ranked boxing. But before I get to that, let's talk about the more important stuff. And that's the NFL football playoff outlook. I'm going to give you a playoff picture that I believe is going to happen with each respective division out there in the NFL. So starting in the AFC, out in the AFC West, the Denver Broncos. Look, those guys have been the best team out there in that conference. Look for them to make a deep push into the playoffs. Moving over to the AFC East, the New England Patriots are looking like the Patriots of old. They went ahead and took control of their division, and those guys should make a deep run into this year's playoff picture. Now going down to the AFC South, the Indianapolis Colts are another team that have already wrapped up their division. Those guys are very good. I don't know if they have the pedigree and the history to make a deep as run as some of the other teams I already mentioned, but look for them to make a little noise. And finally, in the AFC North, currently right now the Cincinnati Bengals are leading that division, but that's not who Cliff believes is going to win that division. I think it's going to be the Baltimore Ravens. Those guys are going to lean on their defense and the leadership of quarterback Joe Flacco, and they're going to pull off the AFC North. So who will be the last two teams in that won't win divisions? I think it'll be the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Those guys have done enough currently to where they should be able to push themselves into the AFC playoff picture. So Cliff, who's going to be in the championship game out there in the AFC? I believe it's going to be the most two dominant teams that's been that way all year, and that's the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots. And the way that both of those teams are playing right now, it should be an epic battle out there in the AFC to see who's going to take that trip to the Super Bowl. Now moving over to the NFC, let's talk about the NFC South. Get the bad out of the way first. Those teams are horrible down there. Yeah, I know it's not nobody's fault, but I believe that the New Orleans Saints have finally put together enough chemistry to go ahead and win that division. Look, with injuries to Julio Jones with the Falcons and to Cam Newton out in Carolina, I don't think those two teams will have enough to overcome the New Orleans Saints. Now moving on to the NFC North. Hey, just like Aaron Rodgers said, everybody relax. The Green Bay Packers are most likely going to go ahead and come out on top in the NFC North. Those guys are looking real good out there, especially when they play at Lambeau Field. Moving to the NFC West, possibly the best division in football. Right now, the Arizona Cardinals lead. But they have a showdown with the Seattle Seahawks, and I believe the Seattle Seahawks are going to win. Why? Because their team is hitting on all cylinders right now. That defense is looking like it looked last year in the Super Bowl, and they still have beast mode running the football. And last but not least, my favorite division, the NFC East, because it has my favorite team and the team that I think is going to win that division, the Dallas Cowboys. Look, they put on a great performance against the Eagles in the last game, and I think that they can gut out 2 more wins to end the season. Because if they don't, the playoff picture does not look very good for those guys. They don't have any of the tiebreakers to catapult themselves in. So yeah, they can have 10 plus wins and still not make the playoffs. How sucky would that be? They finally have a good year that's not 8-8, and they don't even make the playoffs. But the last two teams that I see getting in to that NFC playoff picture are the Philadelphia Eagles and the Arizona Cardinals. Both of those guys have strong seasons, and they should make the playoffs in the NFC. So finally, who should play in that conference championship game out there? I think we see the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. Look, both teams play in cold climate. But if the Packers have to go to Seattle in that stadium with that 12th man, those fans, it's going to be a problem. Matter of fact, it's going to be a problem for anybody. So look for the road to the Super Bowl to go through Seattle. But that's my playoff picture, and I'll give a Super Bowl prediction update later on. So go ahead and stay logged on right here to Blacks in Motion, because when we return, we're going to talk a little KO boxing. Stay logged on.